Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk about everyone's favorite term to throw around when they encounter someone that is challenging their perception of objective quality, which is elitist. And I get it all the time on this channel, and I do not know why it has a negative connotation, but I understand the need to use it. Nowadays, if you want to dodge an argument with someone and not actually talk about the subject at hand, all you have to do is hurl an insult at them or a word that has negative connotations and paint them in an unattractive light, and then you don't even have to talk about whatever it is the subject at hand. So that's what's going on with the term elitist, but I think it's a really curious thing that it's developed this negative connotation. I mean, at the heart of humanity, we should want to transcend. We should want to attain greatness. We should want to overcome our weaknesses and see how far we can go. And it seems that the greatest trend that we've seen in the modern era is mediocrity being championed and everything being brought down to a very basic level, because now what is attainable is, or what is desirable is what is easily attainable, what is attainable by the most basic people. And not everyone is created equal. People have strengths, people have weaknesses, and they're all different. And we should admire, being humans, we should admire those that are the best at something, and we should look to do that ourselves in our own ways. But now, if we see greatness anywhere, our first goal is to attack it and bring it down to the most basic level. And instead of admiring those that achieve and trying to transcend what we know our own handicaps are, we try to relate to people's weaknesses instead of try to pursue their strengths. Like now, it's totally okay and championed if you are at the Olympic level and quit in the middle of the games. And that's considered brave. Why is it considered brave? Because people look to that and they say, hey, I have anxiety, I have issues. It's so brave of them to allow that to control that, and for them to say, hey, enough is enough, I don't need to compete. What used to be brave is the idea that everyone has these things that hold them back, and you break those chains and you transcend. But now people want to have everyone be basic. They want everyone to be the same. They don't want the idea that some people are naturally gifted, and they don't want the idea that people can learn to be better than others. So when they encounter this kind of thing, they immediately get defensive, and if they know they cannot create something objectively great, they will find a roundabout way to fake it through technique or any kind of other superficialities, which is what we're seeing now in modern metal. And when you encounter anyone that is hurling the elitist term at you, obviously they're trying to cast you aside as some kind of like elder person that is not with it anymore, doesn't understand the objective traits of what they're hearing. And, you know, I might not relate to what's going on right now, but I can analyze it and tell you what the objective faults are. I could tell you what the strengths are when they're presented to me. But people think that just because you're from a different era, that you're going to be out of touch, you're not going to be able to acknowledge it, and that anything that you think actually has strengths is rooted in nostalgia. But, you know, there are plenty of ways to analyze what is good, what works, and what doesn't. And if you've watched this channel, you can see that I've outlined proofs of that before. But now that everyone is so into the idea of broadcasting their weaknesses to be relatable, few people are going to try to transcend. Nowadays, everyone talks about their anxiety. I don't give a fuck about your anxiety. I care about you overcoming that and producing greatness. But that's not relatable. That's a superhuman element. People care about what human elements are, and human elements are always usually rooted in failure. Superhuman is success. People don't want to talk about that because it's hard to attain. And people that are current technically gifted musicians are still focusing on that human element of success. They're able to attain that skill because if you watch enough YouTube videos, you can attain the sweep picking. You can figure out the patterns. You can figure out how to hold the instrument, how to hold the pick, how to develop your speed, your dexterity. This is all human. Superhuman is going beyond what your normal trappings are, finding a voice you didn't know you had, being able to express things you didn't know you were capable of, and then having something that is timeless come from that. But people don't care about that anymore. And that is why people will look at me and others that are pinpointing objective weaknesses in artistic forms and call me an elitist. Well, fine, good. We all should be, because once you stop being an elitist and you champion mediocrity, you start to die. And I'm barely alive physically, but I'm alive here. I'm alive here. I don't think many people can say that because they're so focused on entertainment. The goal now is to be entertained, and it's replaced the goal of actual transcendence, trying to find the idea that you could express yourself in a unique way, that you have a voice that you didn't know you had, that you had a voice that's unique and sets you apart from everybody else. None of that matters now. What matters is, can you mimic what you're hearing? Can you play what you're seeing? That's what people can relate to. That's that human element that is strangling the idea of what could be actually artistic in metal. People don't care about superhuman anymore. They just want to be able to get the most out of the human element of music, which is the technique that anyone can learn. Everybody, if they put in enough time, can learn these human techniques. But not everybody can have that voice to create something unique with it. That's where the superhuman element comes in, but no one cares because you can't relate to that. And that is why everything is dying, not just in metal, but everywhere. Everything is just crash landing into the sea of mediocrity, and very few people are standing up for objective merit and the idea that being elitist is great. And being elitist is what should unite us as people to try to transcend this boring bullshit life that we all have, to try to be something great, to attain the next level. I care about that. That's why I get excited to watch something like the Olympics. That's why I want to hear the next big thing that I don't know exists yet. I want to know about those boundaries being broken and the next level of humanity happening. I want to see that happen. I don't care about whether or not I relate to human weakness and anxiety and failure. I have all that figured out. I don't need to watch other people do it and admire it. That's fucking ridiculous. I want to admire the next step forward, and not enough people are doing that now. So if anyone calls you an elitist, tell them, fuck yeah, I'm an elitist, because I want to survive. I want all of us to continue. If you are not of that mindset, you are contributing to the demise. Thank you.